Sweet. Good morning, guys. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. I hope you're all safe and well. Getting a bit of sun out there. If you're new to my classes, welcome. Thank you for joining. If you are a regular, welcome back. If you have any injuries or anything, just be careful. You can let me know or just drop them in the chat. There's a few little messages there for you to read. If you have a nice big sound system at home and you have your favorite playlist that you want to stretch and move around to this morning, hook it up. But otherwise, move freely as you choose. If you have some bricks, grab some bricks or anything that's similar size that you can kind of use. We're going to use them, but it's also, if you don't have them, don't stress about it. Honestly, it's fine. I don't know, if you have one of those big old school like Oxford Arts dictionaries that you can use, then grab that. But yeah, soon we're gonna get moving. And if you're new to this, basically it's a little bit of flow, it's a little bit of dynamic stretching, it's a little bit of static stretching. So looking at different ranges of motion, holding poses to really begin to remodel, say, our tissues, our fascia, as well as also working into the elasticity, so the kind of bounce and rebound of it as well. Generally working through kind of a nice whole body kind of movement to open everything up rather than just like, say, looking at one area. But yeah, if you're ready, then let's begin. We're going to come to just an easy, what do you call this? All fours position. So have your knees underneath the hips, nice and easy, hip distance apart. Have the fingers, the hands, underneath the shoulders. Fingers spread nice and wide. Just before we begin, just have a little sway side to side, move into the wrists. Back and forth, circles, however works. And just in the morning, anytime really, it's always a good thing to kind of get to move through the ranges of motion in the wrist, build a little bit of strength, mobility, flexibility in them. And if you're someone that works at a computer desk all day, this is honestly so important. If you're someone that's on your hands all the time, it's really important as well. Delicate little places, so you really need to be careful and aware with them. So just gently rocking back and forth, and as you do this, really try to press and center down through the palm of the hands, doming through the shoulders, so you have that action of tucking the tailbone and really drawing the core up and in, and then sternum in towards the spine. As we move through this as well, if you need to take a pause at any moment, if you need to back out, if you know where you're going and want to explore even deeper, then of course you're also welcome to do so. But as I cannot see you, I do ask that you be safe with what you're doing. From here, you just tuck the toes and take it up and back into nice easy downward facing dog. Again, just any movements here that feel nice. Maybe you feel super open from your practice yesterday if you practice, or maybe you feel super tight. Maybe you've literally just rolled out of bed and onto the mat. But there's no right, there's no wrong here. It's just a bit of intuitive movement. You can follow me, you can do your own thing. I always just like to wriggle when I get onto the mat, explore what feels open, what feels loose, what feels tight, feels tense. Then find stillness. So have your feet hip distance, press the heels down now. If you're more like here, bend the knees and lift the hips up and back. Don't worry about getting legs straight. Nothing magical happens when the heels touch the ground. Press the ground away. Just really plug into the shoulders. Press the hands down, lift the hips up and back. And just sit and settle down here for a moment. To your downward dog. First of the day. Not necessarily an ujjayi breath, but a conscious awareness breath. Take an inhale. Step the right foot forward between the hands. Just come down onto the knee. We're just going to move to warm up the body and then get into some deeper stretches. So just bring the hands up on top of the thigh. Begin to lift the chest up, gaze up. So have a strong tuck the tailbone, lift up through the core. And slowly reach the arms up and lift up through the shoulders. Exhale, bring the hands down. Gently straighten out through your front leg. So if you have tight hamstrings here, just take an easy, gentle half splits first. Take a little almost micro bend in the knee. Drive the heel down. Lift the chest, gaze forward. So not going into anything too deep yet, but just beginning to explore the sensation of lengthening over your calf, over the back of the leg. And press the left hand down. Bring it underneath the shoulder. Take an inhale, reach the right arm up. Just take a gentle twist through the spine. And bring the right hand down. Walk down, bring the right hand inside. Bring both feet down, lift the left toes so the heel comes down. Just come into a nice little easy skandasana. Now if you have poor ankle mobility, just place a block underneath it, or you can be up here with the heel lifted. You don't have to be all the way down, but do think about really lifting up. Reach the left arm up towards the ceiling, open up the chest. Your hand can be out, you can keep your hands here. I always like to just take a hold of the heel. Good, exhale, bring your left hand down. Come around, come into a nice long pyramid. So your back heel can be lifted here. Just take an inhale, look up, and exhale, gently fold it down. Come forward, press the palms down, step back to just an easy high plank. Now if you have chaturanga and you want to take chaturanga, you're feeling a bit fiery this morning, feel free, but otherwise just come down onto the knees. Lean forward, drop the chest down. Come through just a nice gentle baby cobra. Gazing up. Press the bum back. Tuck the toes under, lift it up and back, downward dog. Good, then bring the left foot forward. Drop the knee down. And tuck your back toes. Bring the hands on top just for a moment, just to set yourself up. Slice the fingers, press the palms up. Make sure that back leg stays nice and strong. And then slowly bring the hands down, straighten through that left leg. Come up onto the fingertips. If you need to be on bricks, be on bricks. Make sure you're really pressing that left button, left heel forward and pulling back on the toes. Up dog the chest. So work to lengthen the back, lengthen from your lower back. Good, then bring the right hand down underneath the shoulder, reach your left arm up. Just take a little twist. Good, bring the hand down, inside. Lift the back toes up, roll onto the heel. Come to nice little skandasana. Reach it up and open it out, and just keep lifting the chest. Bring the hand down, frame your front foot straight and through the front leg. Inhale, gaze lifts. Exhale, fold it down. take an inhale, come forward, press the palms down, step back, knees, chest, chin, baby cobra. Exhale, take it back up, downward facing dog. Just take a moment, sweep the right leg up, stand it up and back. Try not to open up the right hip, but rather soften, square it down. Lift up through the left and draw the knee into the chest. Step the foot forward. Now grab your brick. Bring your right foot up on top. So this is just a nice way to get a little bit deeper, to say, in a normal stretch. So if you have something you want to support it, if doing it normal is enough and you don't want to use the brick, that's honestly fine. So we're just going to come back into that low lunge position. We're just going to work into it a little bit deeper. So press your big toes down, have an action of tucking the tailbone, really lift up, lengthen. So it's not going to be a big tuck, but rather than sinking down, you should feel a slight hip movement. It's not something I may be able to see, obviously with the bet and talking normal life, but you want to feel that action really lifting up through the core. So bring your hands up onto the knee. So again, if this is enough for you, that's cool, you can be there. I like to take it onto a brick sometimes. It just gives you a bit of a deeper and a different sensation and allows you a bit more movement to sink down. So if you want to explore that, feel free. Otherwise, just do what works. Now, this is a stretch that I pretty much do every single day. It's one of my, I love it. Every practice, yoga or stretching, I put it in. It's a really great way to lengthen over all your hip flexors, your quad, but also your abdominals. Kind of really nice big whole front body stretch. So if you feel super tight in these areas, and I'm coming from someone who really was, I spent a lot of time doing this, and it's helped so much in a lot of my practice. So as tempting as it is to kind of sink down and just lift up the chest and whatever, really try and squeeze everything in. So you imagine you're trying to rip the block in, just try and drag the mat forward. Just settle down here. Each pose will kind of be roughly 7 to 8 breaths. When we go into a little bit deeper, we'll be there 2-3 minutes. It just depends on the balancing stuff. Always keep finding more space to open up into. So you should feel the core fired up a little bit. I'm not saying like as if you're trying to do sit-ups, but it should be active. And then bring the hands down. Shuffle your right foot out. So again, if lizard is something that you is already deep enough, you then feel free not to use the brick. If you want to keep your foot on the brick, then feel free. Again, it's just different ways to do things and different areas to explore. You know, some days this may feel super easy, other days you feel as tight as a log, and you know, it's working with where your body is today. There's no rush to do anything. So just being here up on the hands, wriggling any movements that you need. If you can come down onto the forearms, if you want to take another brick and just rest down there, you can. Rather than letting the knee come out to the side, what I want you to think about is gluing down through your right toe mound, squeezing it in, hugging it in. There's nothing wrong with it letting come out, but it's not, say, the focus of where we're working into. So you should feel this hopefully in a kind of nice-ish way on the outer right hip and over the left quad. You know, if you're on the brick and early quad gets too much, you know, feel free to bring it down. If you know you can get deep into poses, don't rush it, take your time. It's really how we begin to find the flexibility, is by taking the time to move into it. As slowly as we go into stuff, we need to come out of it slowly, and you'll notice you'll actually feel a lot better. Just be here for another 3 breaths or so. Again, try not to be as if you're just in a yin class, but active stretching. Just 2 more breaths. Slowly come up. Just gently move take your foot off the block. From here. If you need to place anything more underneath your, what do you call this, your knee, feel free. Otherwise, draw the left foot up and towards the butt. Take a hold of it with your right hand. Just begin to push back, so activate into the quad. Roll the chest open. And then if you want to take it deeper, you can come down into the forearm. But take your time, we got 8 breaths, so if you start off here and then you make your way down, that's fine. You don't have to go so deep straight away. Gently release, don't just let the leg flail back. Bring the left foot down, let's come out of it, just take a nice little easy half split. So have to keep the foot off, out into the side, just working to a little bit different area of the hamstring. Yeah, not going so deep here, more just using it as a space to kind of rebound into. Stay up onto the fingertips and take an inhale. And maybe walk the hands forward, deepen it just a little bit more. Slowly come forward. So sweep the right leg up and back, take a 3-legged dog, just bend the knee, open up the hip a bit. Gently lower the foot down. Come back into a downward dog. Reach your left leg up. Oops, sorry, plant. Draw the knee in. Drop the back knee down. Again, take that brick. If you don't want to use a brick again, that's also fine. Come up onto it. Just find your Anjali-asana, your low lunge. I think they call this Kapi-asana as well. So really be strong. I'm not saying tense, like it's kind of. I notice when you can say activate, people just squeeze and hold everything in, but it's more try and work into a say relaxed activation. And as you're doing this, by being active, you're protecting the joints and the tissues, and you're working through, say, an active stretching or an active range of motion. So as much as your strength, creating space and length, and you're also building, say, the strength and to be able to go into those spaces. Coming from someone who is hypermobile in, say, some areas, but also extremely tight in other areas, this is really the best way I've found that works for me, stretching, and a lot of people, is doing it in, say, a strengthening way. I kind of hope that makes some sort of sense. But again, keep trying to draw that left heel back, that right hip forward. Keep lifting up the chest. Keep tucking the tailbone, feel that real draw up over your right quad. Find that edge between pain and sensation. If you go to pain, take it back. Ride just behind that edge of sensation. Bring it down. Shuffle the foot out to the side. At any moment this gets a little bit much, you can come back out and kind of come into it. A lot of this stuff I know can be quite deep if you're not used to it, but the more you can say breathe into it and really be with it, the more your body's going to understand that it's a safe space that it can go into. So come into your lizard, start up on the hands, be as you need to. Encourage that actually, funnily enough, with cramps as well. When you get a cramp, as much as you want to come out, try and actually just release it by staying with it and breathing into it. You'll be actually surprised at what happens. Keep squeezing the knee in. And don't worry if one side's differently as well. Whenever I go into my left, it's so much tighter. It's actually the more dominant side. So you'll find your least dominant's probably more flexible, more dominant. That's because you're using it more. Take that block off. Take a hold of the right ankle with the left hand. Peel the chest open. Gaze up and over the left shoulder. Come down on the forearm or just stay as you are. Gently release. Straighten out through your left leg. Good. Take a little half splits. Again, just be wary if this is somewhere that you're quite tight in. Don't force anything. Never force anything to stretching. Nothing good comes from it. Maybe soften, walk a little bit further forward. Slowly bend back in. Reach your left leg up. Take a nice big open through the left hip. Square the left shoulder down. Now down, downward dog. And from here, just take an inhale. Come forward, easy. Come down, line onto the ground. Bring the hands in line. Sorry, your elbows in line with the chest, and just lift it up into just a nice, easy Sphinx pose to begin with. Now, one of the most common things I see here is people kind of coming into like this position. You're not really doing anything which is fine. We all need to learn, so to say. But one of the best ways I got taught this is when you're here, imagine you're trying to rip the mat back by pulling your elbows back, and you're trying to pull the hips forward. Your legs are engaged, your glutes are engaged. I'm not saying tense out, freak out, but kind of just a gentle engagement, engage the core. And lift the chest up, and really think about, rather than rolling the shoulders back, bring your awareness into your scapula, your shoulder blade, plug in and root down through there. And rather than trying to draw them together, you're actually going to create more length by drawing them away from each other. So try and broaden through the back. This is just a really good space. You know, it may not feel that, say, deep, but you know, a stretch doesn't necessarily have to be that deep to have its benefits. If you feel something's happening. You know, so much in working out, we think we have to go to the gym and slam ourselves at maximum. We have to stretch into maximum areas of pain, but rather if you just go 70% consistently and you're able to do day after day after day, it's going to be more beneficial than going to the point where you say break and then you can't do anything the next day. So if you're good here, awesome, stay here, you don't have to do anything. If you have the flexibility and you want to take it deeper, then just begin to extend the arms. Again, don't let the shoulders roll up, slug the triceps down. So as you're here, try not to dump into the lower back. Have that actual lengthening the tailbone away from you. So imagine you're trying to suck your hips up into the bottom ribs. Good, guys, gently release down. Okay, let's see if I can space for this. Good, from here. So I just need to move that. I want you to bring your left arm out to the side. Now, don't have it down. So imagine this is 9 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock. I don't want you to have it below 9. I want you to have it either 9 or to about 11. Explore. Each one is going to give you a different space of sensation. So I find the further up I take my arm, the more intense it can be in my shoulder. So just find a nice spot that works for you. Now, gently bring your right hand in line with the chest. Hopefully you can see a little bit. And just begin to roll out. Now, if you can bring your foot behind, that's great. And maybe this is enough for you today, and that's cool, depending on where your flexibility is. What I want you to work towards though is pressing out through your left foot so it's strong and engaged, and working your right hand, right foot up towards your left hand. Now it may not reach, it may reach, and that's cool. If this, you're like lying here going, what the hell is going on? This is really uncomfortable. Then easy, just come back to a position like this. You know, there's just different ways to do things. This is a stretch that I found really beneficial for, say, my shoulder, as well as the hip and kind of thigh, the chest. So just try and settle down into it. Any adjustments you need to make throughout, feel free. Slowly bring yourself back through. And and come in onto the other side. So bring the right arm out, find your position, roll it over. Twisting is something I've begun to really love recently. It just feels so good on your back. Keep pressing out through that right foot, then let it go. Gently, gently, gently release. Come out. And from here, slowly just press down through the palms, lift up. And just come to an easy tabletop. We want to keep the spine open. We're not quite done going through, say, the front section of the body. So if you need, just give yourself any movement here. Now, as tempting as it is to come to, say, like a forward fold after back bending, what's actually a more beneficial way, not saying that it's wrong, but when you want to keep the spine open, just taking a little twist. So if you need to twist a bit here, of course, do feel free. And then we're going to come into camel. So first one we're just going to take with the hands supporting. So bring the fingertips to face up. Just lift the chest up. So think about grounding down through your big toe. Contract the glutes and the hamstrings. Gently begin to press the hips forward. At the same time, rather than your chest coming back, it's lifting up and gently the head comes back. We'll just go for about 5 breaths. Keep the core nice and engaged. Slowly come up. Sit the bum down. You're going to take your right hand to your left knee. Bring the left hand behind you. Just take a nice twist through the spine. Gaze over your left shoulder. Slowly come back around, twist the other way. Good, so we're going to come into that again. If you have the flexibility to bring the hands all the way back, great. If you don't, that's cool. Just do exactly what we did before. When you're coming back into this, even though, say, you're drawing your shoulder blades together, what I want you to think about again is drawing the shoulder blades away from each other. And it's not so much the physical action that they're literally going to, say, separate, but it's more that intention and awareness there to broaden. Very often when we come into a back bend, you have the thing of drawing the shoulder blades together, which in turn actually can lead to it's harder to breathe. It creates more tension over the front of the body. And when we're coming to back bends, we want the opposite. We want to really broaden and open out. So just something to have a little bit of awareness to when you're coming back. So come back, try and bring both hands back towards the heels. Lift the chest up. Rather than trying to get it down, try to lift up and out. Relax the neck so you're not straining anything, so you're not tension, but moving from the spine and the base of the neck. This is a very easy simple back bend that has many benefits. So when we're going into a back bend, we often think, okay, we need to lengthen the back, but really we need to open the front of the body. We need strength in the back. Just take one more breath. Bring yourself up. Just take a little moment. Settle. Good. Just come into a little squat. Slowly bring yourself up into standing. Now we're going to work into, say, some kind of forward folding here. What I want you to do is you're going to clasp the hands. Sorry, I can't really speak this morning. You're going to clasp the fingers, clasp the hands, interlace the fingers. You're going to bring them behind the head. Just to show you, you're going to squeeze the elbows in. So you don't want to come out, you want to squeeze up in, so you're really broadening over the back. And we're going to work through the whole back chain, so the superficial back line, which is the fascia, the tissue that runs from the heels all the way up the legs, all the way up, and finishes at the crown of the head. So when you're coming into this, it doesn't have to be super deep. And if you haven't done this before, it can be very intense. When I used to really practice this in the beginning, it was forward folding for me. It was a nightmare. So this is one of the ways I really used to open up, but it was quite an intense stretch. So just be careful, or not be careful, but just be aware when you're coming into it. You don't have to go super deep. We're just looking for that edge. So when you're coming in, bring the hands behind, bend the knees on the way down. You want to try and keep the hands as close together as they can. If you need to separate them a little bit, that's okay. We're going to go 3 rounds of this, so there's time to kind of warm up and go into it. So bend the knees, bring the knees, elbows just above the knees, so at the kind of base of the thigh. Really draw your chin in towards the chest and slowly press through the heels. Begin to extend the legs. Now take your time. We're going to be here for 8 breaths each round, so you don't have to go super deep straight away, but really keep working to, say, lift the hips up and draw the chin in and really round through the spine. Good, bend the knees, slowly come up. Good, give a little shake out, give a little wriggle out. This is one of those stretches that I find is the best thing, as hard as it is to do first thing in the morning when you get out of bed. It's generally when you're most tight, but doing it then really kind of opens up your body for the rest of the day. As hard as it is to say do these practices in the morning, annoyingly, this is kind of the best time to do them. So bring the hands behind the head, work into the second round, bend the knees, maybe bring the elbows up a little bit higher this time, extend it out. Bend the knees, slowly come up. And shake it out. We've just got one more. It's not too bad. And then we're going to do a bit of dynamic hip stuff. Good, just bring the hands behind the head. Take a nice fold down. Bend the knees first, maybe arch them up just a little bit higher this time. Extend out through the legs. Pulling the thighs up, keep pressing the hamstrings back. Bend the knees, soften, come down, rise up. Good, hopefully your back should feel quite nice and open after that. And then come to, oh my God, yeah, why not? Come into a nice little wide-legged stance, so goddess. Just reach the arms up and overhead. All I want you to do is just pulse down. Nice, easy, gentle pulse. So we're going to do 10 to 15, and then we're going to hold on the last one for about 15 seconds or so. So reach up again, core engage, really plug into your glutes and your external rotators to roll the thighs out. I'm just going to go for 1, 2, 3, lift up through the side body, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Good, hold it just 15 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Good, straighten out the legs. We've got 2 more rounds of this. I've given it a little shake. So as you're coming into this, as you're bouncing down, really keep everything active and engaged. And all you're looking for is that little rebound. So you're going to where, not past, but where the tissue begins to feel resistance. And that's what springs you back up. So it's kind of like a bit of elastic, bouncy gently. But you're not trying to force anything. You're just gently letting your bounce and then holding that static in the end. You're creating that space and then you're remodeling, holding that space. So we'll come into the second round. If you're super tight in the legs, goddess is great, but it absolutely sucks. So I apologize. So come down, really try and roll the toes out as much as you can. If you can't get them all the way, that's cool, but try not to have the knees rolling in. Really roll them out, sink it as low as you can. Just go for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good, straighten out. Give the legs a little shake. We'll take it into the next round. And so set yourself up. We'll go for 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Good. Straighten out the legs. Give them a little shake. Come down to sitting. Come come into a little Baddha, butterfly, whatever you want to call it. Bring the toes, feet together, heels together. We're going to work through a bit more dynamic here. So as you're here, we're just going to bounce. It doesn't have to be crazy, like boom, boom, boom. But what I want you to think about is you're squeezing, what's drawing you out is again your external rotators and your glutes. And so you're actively going to that range of motion and letting it bounce back up. As you're here, keep pressing the toes and the feet together, squeeze the hips so you're protecting the knees. I'll just go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll just go for 42, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. So now take your right hand to your right knee. Well, not directly on the knee, just below on the thigh. Gently push it out. Working the right knee down to the ground. Keep trying to square that left hip down. Left knee comes out. Just holding for about 30 seconds. Take it to the other side. And gently release. Bring yourself into nice wide-legged stance. So I'm just going to get a timer up. I type in stopwatch and it brings me up Spice Girls. Great. Stopwatch. Online. Cool. So, you're up into an easy wide-legged. So press out through your heels. Bring the forearms down. And just gently begin to walk the hands forward now as deep as feels kind of good for you without causing any strain, without causing any stress. And if you're someone that's up here, that's good. Rather than trying to really scrunch in, lift the chest, think about lengthening from the lower back, keep that lift up and then walk forward. And this is going to be much more beneficial. So much we focus on getting down that we lose that part of the journey and the stretch. So rather than trying to focus on the destination, work with where you are now and let the journey eventually take you there. So keep the chest up. If you're down here, great. If you're all the way down, if you're someone that's completely flat, pancake, great. Wherever you are, great. Just do where works good. Again, try not to just fold in. Really work to lengthen forward. Keep pressing out through the heels. I'm just going to be here for about, we've already been here a minute, so probably just a minute more. Again, active stretching here. Keep pressing out through the feet, keep reaching forward, reaching the chest forward as best as you can. Just about another 30 seconds. It's not too bad. slowly walk the hands back in. Now we're going to go into staying here but keep working onto a side stretch. So depending on your flexibility, to go into full variation, you're going to bring your right hand around your big toe, elbow comes in line with the shin, reaching your left arm up and over. You're going to spiral the chest open. Now if you're not there, you can be easy here with the hand behind the head, or you can even use your right hand as a prop to support the head. So as long as you feel that stretch through the side body, you're doing the work. Now, as you're there, try not to lift the left bum up too much. It will lift a little bit, but try to plug it down so you get it deeper into the stretch. And I'm just holding it here for a few breaths. Taking it as deep as feels good for you. Slowly come up, walk back through, take it on to the other side. Yourself back up. Give the legs a little shake up. Support them back in. From here, just bring your left shin under. Bring the right leg over the top. Just bring the right hand behind. Work left elbow outside that right thigh. You can use both hands to support you. You can have your left hand up and just take an easy twist through the spine. I actually sometimes like to take a hold of my left foot with my left hand and use that as leverage to twist deeper. Keep hollowing out the belly, keep finding more space to move through. Gently bring yourself back through center, counter, support yourself back up, take it on to the other side. The right hand out, slowly twist. Slowly bring yourself back. Gently counter twist to the right. Make your way down onto your back. We're just going to finish in a nice, easy, happy baby. So take a hold of either the back of the thighs if you don't have the flexibility, the big toes, the inner arches of the feet. And just pull the knees down in towards the armpits, the ribs, the side of the body. Work to have your ankles stacked up roughly on top of your knees. Lengthen your tailbone away from you. Soften down. Gently release the legs to the edges of the mat. Spend a moment before we finish. If you want to take a really long shavasana, then feel free, of course. Just set yourself up in whatever way you need. Chuck me on mute and just enjoy. Otherwise, just spending a moment in a neutral position to reset. The eyes closed just for a moment. And hopefully you feel nice and open, and where it feels a bit even. Reach the arms up and overhead, give yourself a nice big full body stretch out. Draw the knees into the chest, give yourself a squeeze. And gently rock up onto seating. Just join your hands at heart center in prayer. Jai Namaste. Amazing job, guys. Thank you so much for letting me share my practice with you, and thank you for joining me this morning. Hope you all have a wonderful Sunday. Hopefully have a little walk, enjoy the sun, be safe, be healthy, be well, look after yourself, and I will see you on the mat again hopefully soon. Thank you. Oh, if you have any questions or anything, just drop them in the chat. I'll stay on. Have a little virtual conversation with you. Awesome, Ray. Yeah, stretching is the best thing in the morning. Thank you for joining me. Amazing, Natalie. I'm glad it helped. Thank you. Thank you, Lithompi. I hope I said that right. Sorry, my pronunciation.